Welcome back to the DreamHack Masters Dallas, brought to you, of course, by CORSAIR and all the lovely sponsors here of DreamHack. Things have heated up all the way to the boiling point, which puts us at our last best of 3 of the day. That of Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Faze Clan in the lovely state of Texas, might I add. A lot of things to talk about around this matchup, and more importantly, a lot of things that are going to detract from the matchup in a way. But don't let that take it away from the fact that this gives a greater berth into the playoffs later on. My name's Trace, and alongside of me will be these handsome gentlemen in Matthew and Chad. So make sure you also take note of these guys as well. And also, perhaps, you guys know anything about X-Men?
Yeah, Wolverine's pretty cool. Hugh Jackman, Australian actor, of course.
You kind of look like Wolverine in a way.
I don't have any claws.
Yeah. What do you got?
I was going to say Wolverine kind of stole it, but I was thinking, yeah, you have that Wolverine vibe to it.
I don't think I'm manly enough to be Wolverine.
You're angry as Wolverine. It's pretty good.
That is on you, Chad. But what I can tell you is to make sure you guys go check out X-Men Dark Phoenix, the movie. It actually releases on June 7th. That's one day past D-Day, if you needed to know.
It's got Sansa Stark in there.
Oh, that's right.
Not a spoiler. That's just she.
So is she playing as Sansa Stark in the movie?
Yeah. It's a weird crossover. It's a really weird crossover.
Kind of I'll try to do the math on that one while you guys are talking about this game. Speaking of which, we do have a best of 3 on our hands. That's right. Ninjas Pajamas, Faze Clan is a little weird one all around the way here. Neo and Faze, Ninjas Pajamas have a stand-in. What's going on here, guys?
Feels like we're always doing this, right? Every event there has to be one, and we already did it earlier in the day with Windigo having the whole Calyx factor, but NiP were actually able to pick up a victory against Tyloo with their coach Pitter standing in, which, first and foremost, considering they were down in that game and they had to come back in that first half, props to them. But this is a different kettle of fish that Pitter is going to have to deal with now. Going up against Faze, even though they have Neo in their in-game leading, that's still new. This is still going to be such a momentous task.
Yeah, we can take a look at the brackets, how they shaped up. We just witnessed Liquid taking North on 2 maps, putting them into the arena at the very minimum. Now they're going to be playing a little bit later this week for where they actually play out in the playoffs. Now we need to determine who they're going to be playing against. Faze and NiP being on that side. Then in the lower bracket, just really quickly, Maniac, Vitality and North?
Yeah, I mean, Vitality, 2-0 against Lucid Dream, that's what they had to do. I think for the confidence that was important. We're still waiting to see Windigo, who was going to take on Tyloo, who then will face North. On the side of Vitality, whoever they came up to play against, it's going to be a hard game, NiP or Faze.
That it is. But now we need to figure out who that's going to be. We need to talk about this best of 3 a little bit more in depth. At least when it comes to this best of 3, we know that it could potentially be a landslide.
Ha! Here's the fun thing for Faze. They get to play both teams with the standard. This is a dream run to the quarters, right? You get to play both teams on the same day who are completely hamstrung. And you can really abuse the veto here, I think.
Yeah, let's abuse it right now. All 3 of us collectively, let's just abuse the hell out of this veto. That's what I've got for you. Let's find out what maps we're going to. Where do you guys think it's going to be?
Well, the reason I say this is because if you are Faze Clan right now, if I'm NiP, I'm sure Pitter doesn't, he knows what the nades are meant to do, but he probably doesn't know how to throw every single grenade that Dennis would have to. So you could actually bully them into not banning Nuke or not banning a Vertigo and just take the veto wherever you want if you're Faze.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is NiP could potentially push Faze to a tactical map. Neo is in-game leading, but as you said, Peter is playing instead of Dennis. How are you going to do it on a Nuke or an Overpass? So that limits the options of NiP. I don't see how they can, trap Faze in that veto.
You were on one there. You were about halfway. You're about 50%. Now, Vertigo being the other one that we're talking about, obviously no one's really comfortable with playing that just yet. So that can make sense, especially if you add in the stand-in factor. So even if they were working on that map, even if it was in their wheelhouse, it's gone.
Faze actually played it in ECS as well online. I think they were probably just using that as like official practice on the map, so probably a good thing for NiP to stay clear of that. Now I think maybe a Mirage or a Dust2 for Faze would always be a comfortable one for them, and there you go, you can bully Pitter or wherever you want on the map, but the fact that they've gone for that is very surprising.
I like it. I like that they took the risk. I think they had to do it. I think they will, you put Pitter in a position where he doesn't have to take so many decisions, no too many rotations. You just hold blue or door, whatever, and then you let us figure it out. And then you bank on the fact that, Faze with Neo as an in-game leader haven't put so much thought and effort into Nuke. Why not?
I like the gamble.
That's a hell of a gamble, though, guys.
Yeah, but you have to take a gamble. If you're NiP, you have to.
And then the third map that's going to be coming through here is going to be Inferno, which is probably a little bit easier, I suppose, for Pitter to deal with. But in the 2 hours that they would have had, they could have prepped for their map pick, right? They could have just gone, all right, this is where we want you to hold, this is the nades you need to know, the T side, this is the basics. Because they will be starting on the T side of that map, right? So if they can't even get around maybe four rounds on the T side, they are going to be doomed because FaZe Clan's CT side, that's just going to be the brick wall, right? The individuals, they should just be shutting them down.
No, you're right. It is a gamble, and the problem I think for NiP is they need to have their A plan works. That's how it is when you have a stand-in and you go into a map like that. You decide, okay, listen, we're gonna, as you said, prepare this tactic or this round. But if it doesn't work out, and if they are, say, financially behind, or FaZe is running out with the rounds, I think there's going to be a blowout.
There's a lot of questions around the same sort of, I guess, parameters about this team FaZe, right? So we got FaZe Clan to talk about first, which is exactly what we're going to be diving into. In case you're curious who this man is on the lineup that looks an awful lot
like... He's changed a bit.
Yeah, he awful lot like Neo, or perhaps even Jason Bourne in a way. Like, what are we thinking here, guys?
He has that Matt Damon vibe now with the hair and everything, kind of like that. No, listen, I'm very excited to see FaZe offline debuts with Neo. And I was wondering, Chad, what do you think about the Neo pick? Because here is my thought.
Yeah.
You will not pick Neo as an individual that's going to frag a lot. That's not how it is. There were other individuals probably available on the market that you can get if you're FaZe. So it must mean that FaZe's game plan is going to change. It must mean that they believe in this philosophy of playing or looking at the game. And I wonder how it's going to translate onto the server.
Well, one of the things that I was talking about when we spoke about them when they played Windigo was that this team, if you can get like 80% out of Guardian, Nico, Olaf, and Rain, right? And Neo, maybe he doesn't have to put a lot of frags on the board, but he takes the in-game leadership, the decision-making away from these players, and they can just go out there and pop heads. Then FaZe are going to be back to at least where they were when they had Karrigan, right? Which is a top 3 team in the world. They've obviously dropped a lot since then. They've had a lot of roster changes. This man right here on the screen, Olaf, he was out for a period of time last year. Croman had to come in. They've gone through a lot, FaZe, since they lost the major to Cloud9, right? It has been a very long road for them to get back to a point where they could... Well, the thing is, if you're FaZe Clan and you're in the individuals there, you look at Neo as one of the greatest Counter-Strike players of all time, right? Everybody respects the greats in 1.6, and the argument is between Neo and Forrest, the best 1.6 player of all time. So the respect level for him as an individual and what he's accomplished in the game is there. It's just hopefully that can carry through with the in-game leadership.
How about this gentleman on our screen right now? Some call him the Architect. Yeah. I call him Rain. But you can call him whatever you want. But in the server, he's calling some shots.
Well, I think Rain is slowly coming back to his monstrous level, because he had dropped out for a little bit, and that was, in my opinion, one of the reasons why FaZe also dropped out in general. Rain used to be, in my opinion, a top 5 player in the world when FaZe were up there.
Sure.
Then he dropped out. Obviously, he was not the only player, as you mentioned. Olaf is having a tough time. Gordon was a little bit a shadow of himself as well. But Rain is on point. He's a silent machine. That's who he is. He's not going to go for the 5-1 dig. That's going to be a clip with millions of views. No, but he's always going to be good for 2 or 3 frags on this position. A very good CT player, extremely solid. Also quite clever in the server.
Yeah.
How about the cleverness of what Pete is having to do right now in this moment? Let's go and shift it over to the Ninjas in Pajamas. Forrest, Get Right, Rez, Lekro, and then a gentleman that you might not recognize in this form or in this sort of layout. Yes, this is the stand-in for Dennis. Now, can anyone kind of clarify what it is that has brought PETA onto the game today?
Yeah, Esther troubles, right? Dennis had trouble getting into the country, and with that in mind, they need the coach to step up and stand in. And with him having to take over this position of Dennis, who came back, and he's looked rejuvenated, I would say. At least he has a fresher outlook on the game, and he's been having more impact. Now, PETA has to do the coaching and the probably, I don't know, I think Lekro will probably still do the in-game leadership.
I would believe so.
Yeah. They're just going to have to chip in back and forth, right, when times get tough. So I was going to say, a positive for FaZe is the fact that Janko can talk in freeze time of every single round. Well, NiP, I guess they're going to be talking all the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But for him, he just can't get exploited, right? They need to make sure that they can't hide him, because if you hide him, you find gaps, but he needs to make sure he plays very safe, very smart.
I mean, what did we see from NiP earlier is my real question. I mean, yes, they had a 16-13 win over Tyloo. That's pretty close. Even with the stand-in, that can kind of be, thrown a little bit to the side. But if you look at a guy like PETA, he didn't do so bad. I mean, it's not unrecognizably bad.
It's what Chad said. Yes, PETA actually got his way around the first snap, but now he's going up against different type of opponents, right? And I believe that you were talking about if PETA is going to help with the in-game leading, I hope that they let him focus on his crosshair, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't ask too much of him. Don't ask him to, give ideas as what to,
He's in the middle, though.
Yeah, but please just let him focus. It's going to be hard enough as it is to go up against Nico and Guardian and Rain and Olaf Meister and Neo even. Yeah. Just let him focus and put him in your car or whatever your car seat and just go with him.
Just kind of strap him in the car seat.
Yes.
And one thing I need you to do, Twitch chat, is strap in right now and give me your votes, hashtag pound sign, number sign, Faze, or all of that, and NiP.
Oh, we've changed. We moved away from the exclamation point.
Yeah, we have. Just to throw off the, the people that are in there just waiting all day
Always
to control V.
spamming.
Yeah, your votes only count once, I think. Actually, I made that up. But the point is, get your vote in right now, Twitch chat. Tell us who you think is going to win this matchup. And I'm going to do the same thing here on the desk and ask the guys that are standing to my left who it is they think is going to come out on top here. It should be a no-brainer match.
It's a tough question, isn't it? No, listen, there's no joke. It has to be Faze. It has to be Faze, has to be Faze in 2 maps. Even a map 1 from NiP would be a surprise to me.
But is the only caveat here that we're saying is that if somehow Neo just completely defecates the bed here with the team, like if it doesn't go their way, is that the only thing that could go wrong for
There
Faze?
is no way an individual could detract that much from the other 4, right? Like I don't even think Neo's a detriment in that regard. Like he could probably get 0 kills, and I think Faze should still win. And that isn't
That's
any.
wild.
Well, the thing is, there's just so much firepower in those other 4 members, right? I think that I'm going to stick with what I said during the Windigo game. This shouldn't be close, right? This should be, we're talking, I'm going to give NiP a couple more rounds than what I would just on the Forest Factor alone, as opposed to what Windigo did. I'm thinking a 16-10 kind of scoreline should be pretty decent on a map like Dust2. If Faze can get away with something like that, that's sweet. And then
Double
Nuke,
digit.
Yeah, well, look, you know, there's always a couple of those rounds. And then Nuke, same kind of scenes, I think. I think looking at a map like that, with the fact that Faze will get to start on the CT side of NiP's map choice, they should just be shutting them out. The T side for NiP should be in tatters. I don't think that they're going to have an easy time by any means.
Makes the most sense. So what Chad is saying, and not chat, I'm saying Chad, I'm saying the Sponge himself, is saying that FaZe Clan will be walking away with this one.
Yeah, and into the quarters straight away.
Yeah, and I don't believe on any planet that you're wrong. I think that that's exactly the way it should go. Phase up, y'all. Is that how they do it? Yeah, I get it right?
I don't know. I'm not really hip. I'm not really with the kids.
Okay. Just want to make sure I got it right there before I did something terribly wrong. Yeah, I got to say, FaZe Clan definitely have this one potentially in their pocket right away. Let's go ahead and check out the results, though, the ones that I asked you to vote on at home, and their numbers are going to run themselves like this. FaZe Clan, Phase Up. What do they say? Like, they have a whole bunch of them.
Lots of Swedish.
Yes.
Lots of Swedish Counter-Strike fans still awake.
Yeah, I see that. 60-40s.
That doesn't look like a realistic odds.
I think the thing is, like, all of DreamHack production is Swedish, so they could actually, maybe they like rig the vote a little bit. I don't know, because it shouldn't be that close at all. It should actually, and this is no meme, it should be like an 80-20 split.
It should be, but will it be? That's the real question that I have here, guys. Is there anything else that we could possibly throw out there? We know all the parameters. We know what's right, what's wrong.
I guess what is interesting is, can we have a look at Nico and see how he fares now that he has an in-game leader and doesn't have to do that anymore? Because yes, he was doing really good as an in-game leader and a player, but now he is freed himself of that burden. He can just go crazy on the server.
Well, right now, statistically speaking, with the online matches alone, I haven't factored in their most recent LAN performance. It was, I think it was Olaf at the top, then it was Rain, then it was Guardian, then it was Nico, and then it was Neo. That was a small sample size of online matches. Obviously, there's a handover period, but it shouldn't take Nico that long to get comfortable.
Well, speaking of the handover period, perhaps I ask you guys how much, how much longevity are we giving this FaZe lineup? How much time are we going to give them to kind of bring it all together?
He's listed, so he's listed as a stand-in, like as a substitute, but he's actually, I think Nico cleared it up in an interview that he's there on a trial basis.
Right.
So I guess the sample size for that, considering we have a lot of events coming up, right? We obviously have Cologne, we've got Chicago, I don't know which of these events they're going to be at, but we have quite a few before the major. You may as well ride that out right at this point. Considering the lead-in time, you would have to ride out the major, I would say.
Absolutely, and I have a problem with this trial situation. You're going to take an in-game leader and putting in a trial situation, so we trust you to build our entire gameplay and bring in your philosophy, but be careful. If you don't perform in the next 2 months, that's going to be it. Like, give the man a little bit of time to,
trial
install
by
what he
fire.
wants to do.
Maybe it's best for both parties, right? Because if like Neo doesn't find it's at home for him and he wants to get out, or they think that a better option on the market becomes available. I understand it from that, because not signing people into like 2-year contracts at the moment, considering how much of influx like rosters seem to be, it kind of makes sense in that regard.
Yeah.
But all in all, hopefully it's something that works and they can get back to the level they had when at least they had like close to a Kerrigan level, right?
And the thing with FaZe Clan is this is a team that we've put in contention for the Intel Grand Slam before.
Yes.
And that's not a change of too many players or too many faces around this whole operating system.
No, FaZe used to be in discussion for winning titles left and right. That's what it was. And I think obviously they changed Kerrigan. That was an agreed decision apparently. I just believe that individually they all got shaken a little bit too much. You know, Olaf came back, they didn't pick it up where they left. Maybe they thought that with Olaf being back, they would be instantly in contention for finals again. And from that point on, it just went downwards. And I think it affected individuals, it affected just the general mood. So now hopefully they believe in that new adventure. And then we can see individually that they step up and go back to, you know, what was the winning way for them before.
Well, you guys have already casted your votes. I got mine in there too, so I guess if this ship sinks, we're all in it together. I don't know if that's any solace to you guys.
It would be a massive surprise.
It would.
It really would be. In the meantime, the biggest surprise I have for you is this, our commentators who are sitting by, and that is Henry G and Sadicus, as you know them, the artists formerly known as, I guess. How are you guys doing over there? What are you thinking?
We're doing good. The last game of the day, it always rolls up so quickly. I was wanting a little bit more at that previous series trace, but hopefully this one delivers, but maybe not with the whole stand-in situation. It's not looking too good.
So let me ask you guys right away, what is your take on Neo within this lineup? Because we could talk stand-ins all day, but Neo within Faze.
Well, actually, I saw him in the hallway and had to do like a double take. It just doesn't fit in with me right away. I was like, oh yeah, that's that guy again. Like, he's on that team now. I don't know. I think they definitely need to get NiP off the in-game leading role, first and foremost, in my opinion. But I do agree with Mathieu. Like, a trial basis for an in-game leader, you're asking him to learn 4 players, not just them learn him. It's not like he has to fit in. He has to fit with them. And it's a very difficult thing to do in a short period of time.
I just feel like with Neo there, it will get them to the same heights they got to with Karrigan. I don't see them toppling for the number 1 spot at any point. They maybe become a top 3 team with him. It's enough. But whether it's what they need to be champions, I'm not so sure. I'm definitely interested to see how it develops, though. I have no idea. It's the first time I'm going to watch one of their games with him, and we'll see how it goes down. They'll start on the CT side. It's the Faze pick. Dust2. It's safe. It's easy to play. Not too tactical. We'll see if they can get the first kill. Well, that answers that question, Matt. 1 bullet from Rain will do the job. He takes out Lekro, and at this point, Flashbang's coming in. They want another slice of the action. It will be the second frag for Rain. Job pretty much done at this point. 5 versus 3. Rez, Forest, and Piss, they're trying to pick up the pieces. Forest surely gets this kill, gets the advantage, as Olofmeister is caught out in the open. B-bomb side, probably the most likely finish here. There will just be Guardian playing the scaffolding right now, and he's got 2 players heading in towards B and 1 outside of middle.
Thank God. He had 2 bullets left when he got the kill, but that left him sitting in the open. Had to go for the reload, couldn't do it. Rez has the bomb in this situation. Spots 2 down toward middle. Best opportunity to plant is now, with that information that they're still quite far away. All 3 are going to go to the tunnels as well, given that he's already spotted them.
He can win this.
He can. If he peeks out now and realizes they're not there, I would have thought he even leaves the site. It might make it more difficult to get back in against 3, though. So instead, he positions to catch them off. Low HP player, and Nico going down, and he actually hit the shot on Rain, but it wasn't enough.
Certainly not. There was an opportunity there. NiP, I believe it or not, will be relatively happy with the outcome of that. Didn't look like a bomb going down would be possible whatsoever, but somehow Rez manages to juke them out, and going back towards middle, finding Olofmeister. At least they get the bomb planted, a couple of kills, but Rain, he shut the round down before it really began. Excellent work towards Long. He manages to get the final frag as well. Is that 4 in total? Indeed it is. So nice job by him, Rez. I was a little bit worried for Faze there, but they win the pistol, and NiP will not be forcing into the round. Just a deagle for Lekro. Bit of a staple of his. Rez, same story. No armor, no nades. Just looking to get that plant down. Likely they go towards short, I would imagine.
Rain waits at the catwalk. Good little position to have. Certainly holding for lower at this point. Doesn't want to overextend and actually come out with a gun given to the tees. Nico, as you can tell on the pistol, suggestive that the op wants to be brought out early. Rain was caught out by the crouch of Rez. He was aiming for the previous headshot. Now swap the gun over. Not a bad play, actually, on that, given that Nico has armor, head armor as well. They were playing it together. They were looking for trades at the very least. Rain's low. Let Nico take the fight instead. Great to see Nico of old return. Meanwhile, NiP will return to the B site, where they focused on in the last round. Guardian waits to see the shoulder peek out. Quick shot on the AUG, tries to make them back in, line them up. He gets 3 for it, and a 4th, not quite. He gets the assist instead for Olaf.
Yanko, he'll be pleased it's not his team where the coach has to come in this time. NiP with that treatment. They've been there before a couple of times. You remember back to, I think it was, what major was it? Threat had to play. They managed to get top 8 still.
You're pulling on my knowledge here. I want to say that was
I think it was.
It wasn't. No, because Atlanta was when they got knocked out by Vega. That was the start of the down.
Not Boston. It wouldn't have been at Boston then, right?
Would have been Cologne. Jesus, you're testing my knowledge.
I think it was
here.
Cologne.
I'm not the esports historian. You're asking the wrong person.
But either way, they've been here before, is my point. Threat had to play for them a couple of times at a major as well. That's the issues for Dennis, I believe. So frustrating, but apparently he'll be here tomorrow. But that means if they lose this series, they're in trouble because they will arrive and potentially play one game and they'll be out of it.
Well, at least they'll have them for the deciding matchup if that becomes the case. You're right about Faze as well. Yanko's played in 2 tournaments so far this year. He's never once bottom fragged while standing in, just to note.
Whether that's good news or bad, I'm not sure, to be honest.
To be fair, you're right. Rain has the sliver gap to fire at, gets the information there crossing. That gives Nico time to get ready on the AWP as he wants to get back toward long, get back toward the car. And Rain to flash and hold them off a little bit longer. As 54 seconds remains, and Get Right now with the AWP wants to get through middle. Movement to get there, but flashed off as soon as he does.
Well, here we go. That's Get Right, not known to be an AWPer, but he nails that shot with the doors, takes Olofmeister down. Clean kill as well. It's got a chance in this one, but time is running thin. They'll have to go in towards B with a couple of flashes and hope for the best here. You can see it's actually open right now. Molotov will go through, but Guardian gets there in time, somehow gets 2. Second completely flash, and it's Get Right, who surely doesn't have a chance here. He's got 1 decent kill with the AWP so far. He's going to need a lot more where that came from. Now's the next shot, 15 seconds out. Picks up the AK-47. Nice work from him to get the 2 frags, but that's all they get, and they lose absolutely every weapon with no bomb being planted.
I know you say you never see him on the op, but let's be honest. Get Right has so many hours in every iteration of Counter-Strike over the years. You can't tell me he hasn't messed around in a DM on certain nights, having fun, playing the op and knowing the mechanics. I would suggest that if he wanted to commit to it, he could become a decent little opper in his own right, but throughout the years, he's just been so good on rifles and so known for his role. Why would he have bothered? I'm not alluding to any changes. I'm just saying.
No, that's it.
Good little round for it.
Get Right now, full-time AWPer.
Yep.
And I think Dennis has been
and they're
told
actually going to bring in Markelov to be the in-game leader, just to throw it all out the window.
Oh, flashes towards middle. Oh my goodness, they can't catch a break here. Get Right will go down this time. A taste of his own medicine from the sniper. And it's the AUG to defend outside of the B bomb site itself. Looks like Olofmeister's got at least 2 kills lined up here. They're not even going to check the initial boxes. They might be able to trade him out. They do eventually, but he's already done the damage. Guardian going to nail this shot as well. He doesn't miss those. And it will be Forrest to drop. And this does not bode well for NiP at all. Just if you're just joining us, you're not really familiar with the CSGO scene. Pitta, he was a bit of a 1.6 legend. He had played in a couple of CSGO teams, never really made it in CSGO, at least not to a household name level. He's been the coach a few times for NiP. Actually was the coach when they lifted the major back in 2014. Now playing due to visa regime problems these days. Faster approach this time, going for that quick B split. Get Right will trade out with Guardian. Olofmeister defending B. It's Rez and Lekro waiting on the other side of the slope. Olofmeister time to flash, and he will go down. This position would Get Right wonderful. You're never going to check that. They've got around here. The fast-paced gameplay has enabled them to get towards B. Neo will pull one back as he pushes long. 4-1 though. Can't really justify going for this one, especially with all the utility NiP have left over. As the benefit of going for those faster rounds. Don't really need too many grenades. So just trying to salvage whatever they can. They find both AWPs, Nico and Neo, to hold on to those and try and take down any NiP players they can. This is going to be throwing a grenade. That does not suggest any sort of commitment. You can see what he's trying to do here. Just chip away, lock him in the bomb site potentially, flash over, suggest he's going for it, and hopefully take someone down with the blast. But Dust2 quite forgiving with the radius, especially towards that B side. So you can just be at the edge of the tunnels here. You barely take any damage. So they're absolutely fast. 4-1 ended up being their first round, but both AWPs saved by Faze. Fast mid approach. With only the AWPer there to Get Right to get the opener. And then they have easy access towards that B site. So it's going to be a pause here. Looks to be technical from what I can see. Pitta in the middle will be...
Dennis has left the server. That's
He's
what
gone,
it is.
yeah.
That's the technical issue.
Yeah, I assume he'll be leading here. That's not too much of an issue in that respect. It's Neo who has the issue here. Let's see if that can get resolved quickly. I'll look in chat, see if I can work it out. Nothing being said. It just says technical pause from the Faze side. Looks quite trivial though. Neo just Just needs a little bit of assistance here.
Sometimes we all do. He's yet to die, Neo, for whatever that's worth.
He hasn't had much action though, right?
He's 1-0.
Yeah.
And 0. Since this
They've
do
gone
matter.
middle and B, I think, pretty much every round. He plays long.
Well, we'll see if he will get some action.
Oh, it's coming.
Nico back at the end of the line. Back to the end, buddy. Wait your turn. Again, I mentioned it. Third best in the world last year, was arguably in contention for #1 a few times. And the form was still there for Faze. The end of 2017 and start of 2018. Game leading didn't really give him the chance to stay up that high in terms of individual performance, so we'll see if that could come back for him. Doesn't look like we're too close to being resolved based on the gesticulation from Yanko standing behind. Everyone remains dead silent while they wait to solve this. In fact, they're going to swap out the headset entirely, it seems. So sound issue. The answer. Good to see Neo back. I mean, he is a legend. Let's not forget the history and legacy of Virtus Pro. He's been around forever. He and Taz were nemesis, then teammates for so long. They really put Poland on the map in CS. This guy did the same in Sweden.
Yes, indeed. It's kind of funny. We've got Forrest on one side of the server, Neo on the other. Two players regarded as the greatest of all time if you look at all iterations of CS. So that's kind of cool. It's Guardian, it's King of Source. Now one of the most renowned snipers, I should say, in CSGO.
This is the second Virtus Pro player we've seen jump toward a top 5 team, having left as well. Remember, Snacks at the time jumped at Mouse Sports. They actually won New York, which seems to be Snacks' event.
Yeah, indeed.
And in many ways, only won it once, but was in 2 finals, and one of them was incredible from him. But you look at the fact that he left that team, you gotta wonder if Neo doesn't survive here, do we see any of those guys back toward the top echelons of CS? Taz certainly not really there yet with his Kingwin teammates.
Indeed.
Pasha's doing the being a dad and streaming thing. And Bialy's just left Virtus Pro officially.
Yeah, I think that's going to spell the end of the Polish team in general for VP. I feel like it's time to move on. It hasn't really worked, has it? And with him leaving, got to replace again. I don't know, it just seems like that project needs to be revamped completely. All the admin's been brought in now. We're replacing everything. Working away. Trying their best. I can't. Okay, looks like we're good. Mic issues was the problem. They've said continue, unmute TS and go.
Yeah.
So
I think they swapped out the headset entirely. I could see them unraveling a new one. So I think they're ready. If it is a mic issue, it's not like it's hardware. It is hardware, but not computer related.
Yes.
So just swap the piece and be on with it. Peripheral related. It's probably better, because if it was a sound card issue, sometimes that takes a while when you got to swap everything out.
Yeah. Well, we are back underway, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, the final best of 3 of the day. FaZe are the heavy favorites here. This is their pick. They're playing against NiP with stand-in. NiP have won a round due to that fast mid-take, but will they be able to replicate it? I'm not sure. Double setup brought out again. FaZe will have Nico positioned towards short, looking for any advances towards that position from NiP. Forrest drops the Molotov that goes closer to doors. Not sure that's exactly where I wanted to go. Might start firing off shots. Nico ready for a challenger short. All players either side knows he's in trouble, will have to fall back.
It tells them where the op is. But did they know there's 2?
Oh, they've got B control here, Guardian pushing in, and there's actually a player in lower waiting for him.
And the bomb's back outside of the tunnel, so Lekro's very likely to rotate that direction to go for the bomb.
They'll probably end up at B at this point. The presence towards A, the fact that bomb's outside B suggests that it's going to get up there, try and bait us from utility, a rotation from Rain especially. But there's still 2 players from the CT side in that B bomb side, so they're not taking the bait just yet.
But they have fallen off the angle, didn't spot anyone, and therefore they actually might be more inclined to rotate over on the fake, given that they think B might be more open than it is. Olaf seems to have other ideas. Now he'll hear the flashes. Smoke's coming through. Counter smoke, and he plays between the 2.
Well, that kill doesn't really do too much at all, because at this point they are going to commit towards B. Olaf absolutely destroyed them with that smoke going down. He's got himself a kill there for sure. Oh, it's a double. Really, really well played. That is textbook Counter-Strike there. They didn't take the bait, and you pointed it out perfectly. The fact that, yes, he got that information, but they just weren't reacting too much off it. They knew there was a chance they could fall back. They didn't feel too pressured today. A couple of flashes in a smoke is not enough to suggest it's a full commitment. Olaf detects that dribble smoke coming through, puts one just a little bit further than that, gives himself some space to work with there, and it's a great, great round from Faze. 5-1. Lost bonuses there, though, for NiP. Pitta did tweet out saying he's going to be a bit of a merchant, is dropping weapons and trying to set up the star players. He'll be the one with a deagle, no armor, so he definitely dropped something. As we get into round 7 here, Molotov towards short, trying to push the potential Nico back, but this time he's not there. He'll be down at long, backing up Neo.
Rain waits out inside of middle. Nico on the op. Back at long goes first. So not only is he being a merchant and dropping weapons, he's getting information and letting get right trade. Neo down. Forrest able to respond to the support play of Nico trying to work back in, and Rez just spots the top half of Rain's head.
Well, that's going to be the round, surely. 4 versus 2, but they still need to cross towards the site. Bomberman coming in towards long now. If Olofmeister takes down Lekro, this round could turn on his head. Will he check the closed door, though? Oh, hello. Oh, Lekro's so unlucky there. He was watching the mid doors about 15 seconds. Checks lower B for just a moment, and all falls apart in more ways than one. Olaf gets his second. Guardian starts to encroach towards the bomb site now. Forrest down towards long. It's Get Right, who has to try and get this plant down into a position where his teammate can actually spot it. Napoleon Sentry towards Element, and Guardian will give up the fact that he's there after taking damage. So advantage back towards NiP, but not for long, you know. Get Right needs to pull a clutch out of the bag here. He has no grenades, but he has presence towards short. Bomb only just planted here. 4 versus 2, Matt, and it could fall down at this moment.
Get Right's crawling his way back in. Steps wide. Guardian gets him instead. And it's going to be 6 for Faze.
Can't give those ones up.
Certainly not. Not with the lead you had. Not with long taken. Bomb down. Not with the coach standing in. You need to convert every opportunity that you get.
4 versus 2. Lekro, nice idea to hold towards middle, but he couldn't decide whether it was lower or middle he wanted to watch. If he was top of middle, for example, he has everything covered. Short's not a problem. That is, in my opinion, a really weak position for the reasons you just saw. Like, he got absolutely run over and he was watching lower. Olaf didn't even spot him. He had like 3 or 4 seconds to realize he'd overlooked the position. And he gets the kill on short. The round falls apart. And we get back into round number 8 with the bomb planted and the maximum loss bonus. They still have a full buy here for Forrest as the struggles continue for NiP.
Nico. No chance of a shot yet, despite that they are up close on catwalk. Bombs out toward top of middle, and that's so pretty much a default at this point for NiP looking for picks. Rez forced away, down to 82. 2 Molotovs, flash as well. This is telegraphed. Rain wants the position. Rez doesn't want to give it to him. They know what the intentions are. The battle is for Cat. Flash in from Nico. Rain takes the peek.
Okay, well, it's Rain. It takes more damage there, and that little duel towards short, but he does get away with his life. Smoke's still available here from NiP. If they want to go for the full execution. Looks like a B split to me, to be honest, with the player towards upper. That's the only round they've got so far, is pushing through mid. Rain is there, remember he's low. Puts himself in a position in front of the potential CT spawn smoke.
Smoke down on the corner, that isolates the players at B, but none to follow it on CT. Rain had a great opportunity, a glorious opportunity, but couldn't capitalize.
20 seconds.
You're right, he's gotten himself in a much better position. He's going to play the edge of the smoke. Molotov behind him, they don't know that he's out toward the van. And he finds Get Right Rez. He's fallen to Nico beforehand, and Nico still stands on top of the site. Not able to be on the spot for the second, but Neo will rotate back. Forrest then gets taken off, traded out.
Can't plan.
But you're right, 4 seconds on the clock, it's over. Nico just staying alive at this point in time.
Oh, Nico, he's done enough. They might get the 5th as well, not quite. Lekro gets no cash, but at least keeps the AK. And we've lost Pitta. He's had enough. He's left the server.
Yeah, well, he got no money at the end of the round. He died at the end of the round, but not sure what caused him to leave the server. But we'll get a pause as a result of that. I can't tell you what his money will be as a result, but guesstimating based on...
Oh, right, but... Oh, no, he
did die after the bomb was not planted. It was time expired, Pitta went down. And we still have the old score but up, so I couldn't tell you. Can you refresh that? I think you have control. I was going to try and guess as to what his money would be, but it's going to be very little, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, this is the wrong game. That might be part of it.
This isn't a technical difficulty on our end. This is a human error on our side.
Here we go.
So he had, $50. So that's all he's going to have to work with when he rejoins.
About enough for a nice steak dinner in Dallas.
It is, or steak lunch, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, we had some lovely hospitality today in Dallas.
Turns out I was at the same restaurant 4 years ago, which I find is bizarre that I could actually pick that. But pick that out, I should say. You picked it. You were the one that took me on the date, so...
It was a nice day, I thought.
But yeah, I got there. I said, I'm not hungry. I'll take the burger. He's like, come on, dude. You can't say you're not hungry and order a burger in Texas.
Burgers in North America you're ordering. Are you sure that's what you want? He's like, yeah, man, I'll take that. No worries.
Yeah, no, I'll swap that out, actually. Good times.
And so let's look at the scoreboard while we're here, just to fill some time between this pause. Guardian at the very top, Dust2. No stranger to it, 11 and 3. Olaf, Rain, both hovering around 8 and 9 frags. Oh my goodness, no one breaking 5 on the NiP side. It's Get Right at the top with 5. Pitta, understandably, 0 and 8 right now. Lekro 2 and 6. Forrest 4 and 8. Rez 3 and 7. They are having a rough time here. That 4 and 2 really could come back to haunt them. No talking or writing allowed in the tech pauses. Round 9 coming through. Lekro does save the AK-47, but you're right, Pitta, $50. That is it, nothing else. Not ideal. At this point, 2 players without cash. You've got Forrest 3,500, Rez 4K, Get Right 3,400 as well. I'm trying to work out if it's worth buying. I guess maybe getting Deagle Armor to go with the AK, see what we can do with it. Lekro with the literally has $300 from the kill he got in the previous round. We'll get a smoke to go with the AK. Neo again with the bloody sound issues.
Tisfall, clearly. Let's just, why don't you walk over there and tell him to stop that?
Yeah, so come on, mate. We're trying to have a game here.
Cut it out. Well, it's a TeamSpeak error in general,
okay,
apparently.
I feel like I'm going to make a Kickstarter for a new voice software.
Because you hate TeamSpeak.
It's just every game. There's always one TeamSpeak issue. You know, we need to move on.
Let's go to, what was it, Ventrilo?
Roger Wilco.
Roger Wilco.
That's an old classic.
What was the other one? There was another big one for a while.
Mumble.
Mumble, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. That was a revolution.
Do you remember when
Ventrilo was so long, I had delay on it?
Do you remember when TeamSpeak? That's right. Do you remember when TeamSpeak was like TeamSpeak 2 or maybe even 1? It was like a purplish background.
Yeah, that was
and you had the red buttons when they weren't talking, and when they talked, it would light up green.
That's right.
That's what I used in like when I was in the Canadian Rifles only, Medal of Honor, Allied Assault. I was TCR admin Spit. It was Spitfire, but I shortened it to Spit, which no one understood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I was like 14. It was maybe not even.
When you're on trial, you had trial in your name, then you go, become a server admin.
No, it was. We had like the ranks, like private, private first class,
military ranks,
corporal, and then. But I got promoted from what was I think it was sergeant.
Okay.
So I had my own squad within the like 150 clan
after
person.
Stable of lads.
I had 10 guys, and then I got promoted straight to admin, and then within 2 months I just left.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great when I could run the whole server though, telling people what to do.
That is your dream, isn't it?
Changing the teams. It was great.
Okay.
And then everyone realized I should never be in a position of power ever again.
Well, here we are. That's how it all came together. Cancel the biopic. We've got all the intel. Here we go. So Glock, no armor for Pitta. Really not a place you want to be when you're 7-1 down. They've taken a nade to the face. They have 4 sport, I should add, of sorts. They have 3 rifles, UMP, barely any utility, but It's pretty much pick your poison. Like, he had 2 players and no money. They're going to get back towards B and try and contact play it. I think Guardian usually plays that by himself. It's actually Olofmeister will join in this time. So they've got 2 players in this site, and they have put up a bit of a brick wall. Back they go. I think they've realised. They're defending from really stubborn set. Haven't we just died every single time we've gone in towards B? Let's just fall back. Maybe go to where Neo is. See how he's playing.
Molotov, rather incendiary, goes in.
Brutal smoke. Really don't like to see that. And they're just getting ready with 4 players outside of position. Does this? Oh my goodness.
The question is, though, do they read this? Because, yeah, I was going to say, it's a brutal smoke, except that it's rather obvious what the intentions are.
Not the best. And I love the smoke, just to hit the angle though. Play the standard angle in the doors and make them walk through it. He had loads of kills there.
Or hide in the smoke completely, get behind the door entirely and not reveal your position, but you are right. Now they've got problems. Long is open. Pitts has gone and gotten an Og, still not with armor. That's the bigger issue, but he is able to pick up a weapon on the way by. Get Right gets a plant. Second time they've planted on the A site. We'll see if they can finally convert the round as Olaf works back up with Guardian from Catwalk. Both players there, but only one has been spotted so far.
Well, they managed to win a 4 versus 2 before. This one should be a little bit easier, but still so much work to do. Get Right is trying to provide covering fire for his teammates towards Gooch. Be a kill just about. Olofmeister at this point, best option to try and contain them within the site. I think he knows that. At least take down Get Right when he tries to exit. That's about as good as it's going to get. A round where it looked like FaZe had played it perfectly. Does fall apart somehow. Get Right will not be saving the AWP, so that's a relative success towards the end, given the situation. Olofmeister will save his AWP, and Pitta trying to go and find the fallen one towards the A site.
He knows. He knew. He spotted it. He was hoping the bomb was going to put it closer.
But he got the opening frag there with Glock, no armor, no nades. He gets the kill on Neo.
That's a good point.
So they set him in first. Like, yeah, you go through into the Lion's Den first. Let's see how you get on. But he actually got the frag. So fair play.
It's his first of the game.
Indeed.
Second?
First
of the game, yeah, that's right. Olaf got the op that Guardian dropped as well, so not only did he take Get Right down. Interesting as well, it was unfortunate because you could see what Pitta was doing. He was hoping that the M4, as it did get blown down long, the op would go with it. It was the gun that stayed stationary. Olaf nearly had a chance to line them all up. Guardian catches them on the cross instead. Pitta again, the sacrificial lamb. And it is a slaughter. Again, Forrest change it. Guardian's locked out from the window. Utility. Molotov would be perfect, but it bounced too far. It hit the top side of the brick, and that actually meant, oh, Guardian, he's got to go back through it. But he still had the window still. He could have played off of it. Instead, it's the lurk out from middle from Rez. Micro down from Nico and Rain, and Rez has 1 HP. They know that he was out toward middle. Bomb's not planted. This round's over.
Yeah, you definitely get an audible sound cue. Once you get the dink as well, they'll be well aware damage, or heavy damage at this stage, been inflicted towards Rez. 1 minute. He has a chance to win this shore, but he'd have to kill Rain first, that's certain. If he gets that kill, leaves Nico of the AWP, maybe there's a chance, but he needs a mistake to be made here. As the bomb's in an awkward position for the CTs here, they don't actually have vision on it. They're banking on the fact that he will grab it. Is it the inside of the site? Oh, it is. I apologize, I thought it was outside. So it was Forrest who tried to run in and plant it in the default spot, so... Oh, no, it is there. Oh, I was wrong twice, man.
You're wrong twice.
It's never happened before.
He's going to keep the Galil even though the AK's
there. That's
there.
why I thought, like, okay, that makes sense why they're not looking at it. Now they don't even know it's gone. That's why I found it so strange. It's like, they must have the bomb. Now they have no idea.
Well, he's got a chance to plant. Can Rez do more than that?
Did they assume they
must know at this point. I mean, they're together. They know he's tagged, and they'll go. He's going to play long. Top of the box plant. And he's got an op.
Because if you knew the bomb was there, surely you'd have one window watching middle.
I think they're going to... I think they go long. Yeah, I was going to say, they're going to know. They're going to know that he's planning for long and give himself the best opportunity.
That's a good point. Like, if you ever get an open site, you're always going to plant long, aren't you? He's got the AWP, so they might not check it, you know. They don't fully commit. Okay,
oh, wow. He's actually hit it. He's got to go back around. It's an AWP. Oh, versus Rain, and 1 HP. Rez clutches it back with 2 final kills.
Oh, they've really... not had a good time there, but Rez certainly has. With 1 HP, essentially wins a 3 versus 1 there. That's not bad at all. They gave him way too much wiggle room. The fact he gets the bomb, goes all the way to A, that was a massive issue in this sense. I'm not sure if they knew they had the bomb or not, but if they did, just 1 window, 1 watching tunnels, that was enough considering you know he's dinked. Rez, though, can't take anything away from that second shot. Beautiful stuff as FaZe give 1 up for free, and their money actually spirals into a really uncomfortable position, $2,000 per player. But that's what it's going to take for NiP to have a chance in this game. Heroics from the star players like Rez. He had to give it his all in that round. The AWP was enough. They tried to stick together on the Faze side, but ultimately give the round up. Trying to stay together seemed like the correct decision. If they got the kill, it would have been, but denied by Rez. They'll take a full eco here.
Crossed over, no one shot. 7-3, NiP. Crawling and clutching. Oh, get right. He's got to be so careful here. Can't quite get Nico, but now they know there's a stack in middle, and Pitta will go to work to try and find some kills for his tally. Electro flash. Pitta's got to step out on that, but he's blind as well. This stack is actually looking problematic as Pitta goes down now as well. Forrest is dinked. They might actually pull this off on the Faze side, but Forrest holds his nerve and gets the 2 of his 3 kills at the end to make it 7-4.
Absolutely true.
Get Right's shocked is how that went.
He's not happy with it. All off my stuff. There on his screens. Always did enough there in the full eco. Wasn't necessarily a required eco. You can see they've got a really strong buy here. They got something together in the previous round, but I respect it. Big picture stuff is all that's required against a team with a stand-in, especially if it's the coach. So default round here. Textbook stuff from NiP holding up. Waiting for any CT aggression. Nothing spotted just yet. Faze, such a massive upper hand in this best of 3, but it is the first event with Neo. He's really said his name a whole lot, to be honest. 3 and 5. And that's the problem with this whole conversation. Yes, he definitely brings in experience and he can be an in-game leader. He's not necessarily celebrated for that throughout his years. Like VP changing in-game leaders every month, it felt like, even in their peak. He was definitely in that conversation, but he's not like a celebrated leader of squads. He's more of a star player, a solid, safe pair of hands. See whether he can do much of this team, but as I said in the pre-game, I was like, I feel like they'll get to a similar point they did with Carrigan, but not get further. Top 3, definitely, but maybe they not
peak,
number 1.
The peak for them was the end of 2017, 2018. Fortunately, they suffered a lot of losses in finals. And then the honeymoon kind of ended, and you're right, they plateaued with Carrigan, didn't they? And I think there was some infighting that went on, so we'll see. I kind of tend to agree with you. I don't know, but I can see this team being a clear-cut number 1 in the world. They'll always be in the argument. Rain over top of CT, very good hold from the Faze clan side. Puts them now to 8-4. And money not amazing on the NiP side after the 3-round victories. Forrest is 48-50, but no one else is really that well off. So it's going to be pistols. Deagle. For Lekro can be a problem. We know that he's extremely potent with the weapon. Shadow shows, Rain hits Forrest, Rez tries to re-peek it, Pita leaves the bomb down and even wants to get in on the action, but Rain just keeps himself alive and gets away. Rez will at least get the Deagle picked up from Forrest. But this one seems like it's going nowhere fast.
Yeah, looks like they're out of luck this round.
In fairness to Pita, he might only have 2 kills, but Lekro has no more than that either. See if we can find 1 or 2 here, but it's not what we've expected from Lekro over the last few years.
I guess I assume Pita sat in the middle means he is calling.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But oh, yeah, sorry, I don't know if he's calling. He is sat in the middle.
Yeah, but I assume that. I don't know. But if he is, like, that's gonna. You want to keep things as standard as possible, right? If Lekro's been taken off that role, maybe it's playing with his mind a little bit and not comfortable with the setting. I actually have no idea. Maybe a question for the interview asked it if Pita's taken over in-game leader, considering he's the coach, just to make him a little bit more valuable on the server, you know? Take that pressure off Lekro, hopefully we get more out of him, but if anything, it seems like it's had the opposite effect. 2 and 10, not ideal for one of your absolute star players. The Swedish prodigy, when he first exploded on the scene, I think back in 2016, was when he first appeared at Malmo. There we go, off nice to close things out. Nothing really to talk about that round. Full eco, some Deagles. Round 14 now, Faze have given up a few disastrous rounds, but overall seem relatively comfortable. Forrest with the AWP, he's the top fragger with 10 and 12. See if this is going to be any better. They need at least 1 more round on the NiP side for any sort of chance there. Forrest trying to get the AWP towards long. Didn't have to extinguish that smoke, but in order to be safe.
Nico. Couldn't hit the second one either. Rez gets both, and NiP suddenly get the sight with him finding a third. Not bad at all from Rez. Watches towards CT gap of the smoke. He just holds so that the bomb can be planted. Get right to do so. And Olaf, not even looking to challenge, knows there was company toward Long Forest. Is still in T-spawn with the op. Even waiting to see if anyone's going to push out for the save position from B, and Guardian is heading that direction. Oh, Olaf, though. How's Get Right not checked this? How do they think this is clear? They've left the bomb. He gets this, he can actually get a defuse. He's going to get him now. He's going to let him go. Olaf has a defuse kit. This is done. Oh, he's lost track of the bomb. Does he have time still? I think he does. Olaf's just won this round. They've completely fluffed it. They've completely let him walk into that.
Matt, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. He does. That really does say
I want to see the faces on the other side.
Oh, yep. That's so rough. Just when things couldn't get any worse, Rez is going to be the most pissed of them all. He gets 3 ungodly kills towards the A site. He runs in, absolutely batters them.
And that's massive miscommunication because clearly Olaf's been along the entire round. No one ever cleared that corner.
That's so wild. I don't know what to say. That's probably going to be the game at this point. I'm not sure you can recover that. Rez still fighting though, doing what he can. He's been cracking open that A site so often. But there's Nico nailing the shot this time. He'll be protecting himself with the smoke, trying to get the hell out of there. Neo providing covering fire towards Shore. Nico surely goes down here. But there it is, a chance for NiP. 2 versus 1 now. Fast gameplay. Guardian gives over the position, and it's the 1 versus 1. Get Right, huge advantage here. He's got time to plant the bomb. He knows Guardian is on the other side of the map, and he's using that big old brain of his as he drops down to CT spawn. I don't think many players would consider this play.
I don't think anyone would, especially where Guardian has the op and he's gone long.
Yeah.
Put this in perspective, though. We were looking at a 9-6 potential half. They give up the last round in a dramatic fashion, and now he's recovering to make it 10-5. They could have given themselves a real chance.
He's owned him, yeah.
This is so smart from Get Right, though. If he was the one to
He still thinks it's A.
be fallible in the last round, Guardian, you're right, he's already running back around. He's grabbed the AK because he knows he's got to rush this up back over toward B. He knows he's got to make haste. No time to play with the op, no time to play for picks. Get Right a little early on the Molotov. Guardian has told him exactly where he's coming from. Now there's no doubt, there's no hesitation as Get Right pulls it off with 2, at least pulls back 1 round.
Oh my goodness. That half had it all. We'll go to a break and see if NiP can recover.
That's probably where NiP are heading outside to lay down and sleep this one off if things don't turn around. Get Right does at least pull off an incredible 5th round win for them, but it's 10-5 at half, and they gave one away, you have to say, to Olaf, sneaking back in the sight.
Yeah, very smart from him. Excellent stuff, but yeah, that's going to tilt Rez especially. Looks like a quick B play from Faze here, and this is usually the outcome. They take a nade to the face, bullets to the brain, and another kill potentially on the cards of Forest as well. They need their high HP players to go in first. It's still not working out. Now it is. Okay, they're all absolutely battered here. The bomb's gone down in the tunnels. They might want to consider changing things up, but they have got the B site under control at least. Oh my God.
Wow.
Okay.
Forrest, for all he's worth in pistols, he did a lot of damage, but he could not find the accuracy he desperately needed to get the lineup. The smoke off, Get Right elects not to go in the doors, and that could spell the end of it. Blackrow just got absolutely greeted by Guardian, but Get Right. Good find. Quick check. Makes noise that he's dropped off, goes back. Olaf still down below. Shot there from tunnels, that's obvious. Get Right, he knows the angles. He knows where he's playing. Tries to get the information with a jump, does. And Olaf's going to relocate, so they're both over toward the closet side. Very hard to get back in, and no kick for Get Right. He'll get taken down by Neo.
A scrappy round. Looked like NiP had an edge there, especially with Forrest's initial kill. Got a second as well. Was staying alive for so long. Then a flurry of frags. Guardian's precise headshot towards window as well. Too much for Get Right to handle in the 3 versus 1. Did a good job to get 1 kill, but just couldn't find the shots on the 2nd and 3rd. 11-5. NiP will have to take a full eco here. FaZe have given up a few disastrous rounds themselves, but I don't think this one will be going against them. Nico tags the first player that crosses. That's going to be Rez down to 66. 56. I'm going with glasses on?
55.
55, definitely haven't got them on. Probably should start wearing them.
Good try, though.
It wasn't, but we'll take it for what it is. I'll wear them tomorrow.
All right. You can borrow mine if you need. I only wear them for Tinder.
Well, as soon as you load the app up, glasses come on, that's when you're taking life
for the
seriously.
photos, you know? I look more sophisticated.
Oh, I see what you mean, right. Not to use the app, to actually look
I don't even
intelligent.
have the app anymore. Full disclosure, deleted that ages ago.
Good idea.
Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, get right. He's tagged by the scout as well. Nico's going to collect on him, and the scout continues to cause problems as Nico closes on Pizza with the same combo, the 1-2 punch. Guardian to Forest. Round to Faze. Mine are prescription. I was joking. They're real. I promise.
Just full disclosure again.
Yeah, all right. Listen, you know, I'm not. Whatever. Let's just leave it there. I don't want to talk about it. Nico, he's gonna run with the scout. You love it. The movement mechanics of the sniper. Look at him. He's just hauling it down mid. Goodness me. We got a convoy as they're going to try and work back around the door. Rain. Mac 10. Lekro's down. This is just fast from Faze. Double smoke, including the one on top of the box. Ball thrown from Faze. Pitta puts out his own and goes around it. That might be a coach's play. There's one from the counter playbook.
It could be. We will see. Time will tell.
Something he's drafted that he wants the team to do, perhaps, to counter off the smokes in mid.
We might not want to do this, though. This doesn't look good. It's one of the most difficult angles in CSGO. To face that with an M4, got to be a brave man. He does use the smoke to his advantage, though. Still a 5-4. Majority of the utility still available for Faze.
Sometimes bravery is mistaken for stupidity.
Yes, indeed.
Guardian back up toward the show stairs. Forrest not able to collect. Good bait from Guardian. He knows. He's an operator. He knows how it's done. Back around the corner. Veto. Waiting toward the doors. Knows they're going into the window behind him. He does swing now. He's going to, and he does. He and Rez find one apiece. It's better from Pitta. Good timing. Good hold. Fortunately, it ends there. And Neo inside mid already catches off Get Right. It's an AWP for Forrest in transition, 13 for Faze.
Looks like we're coming to our logical conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. NiP with the stand-in have had some great individual rounds and some absolutely horrible ones as well. The 3 kills from Rez seemed like it would be enough, but ultimately still hasn't happened. And in terms of the second map, this is Faze was picked, to be fair, so not that disastrous, but it is Nuke next. That is an NiP classic, but Faze have been putting a lot of work, and with Neo as well into this particular map, I can confirm. So things might not be getting a whole lot easier.
Yeah, Forrest takes out Olaf. Nico to Forrest. Pitta and Lekro, the last 2 alive. The underwhelming stats of them in this game.
Faze would have quite the run to the playoffs if they do 2-0 this. They have, what, Lucid Dream to kick things off, and then NiP with the stand-in their playoff game, or to get to that. So
it's a good point. The ratings do reflect the competition that you play in an event as well, but that doesn't change the outcome of the individual event. Yeah. So they'll still get the berth forward from this series.
Feels like a matter of time before they close this out. 14-5. I don't think NiP will have the resources right now to pull off a massive comeback. Lekro 4-17. Pitta 3-17. You can understand for sure Pitta's position. Maybe Lekro, we don't know if he's calling right now, but something seems really off for him. I haven't seen numbers like that low for a long time from him. Either way, Forrest and York. Double up set up here. He's going to get one of these. Always good for a clean frag. There's our Forrest. It's the second as well. That's Guardian. This time not kill found. Looking to focus towards easy spawn. Nico. Known to push out the middle area and find headshots all day long. There's no difference there. 3 versus 4. NiP scramble towards CD spawn. They've actually given up the A side essentially here.
High flash catches Pitta. Neo. Checks out Goose, wants to wrap in.
Oh, so they beat Windigo on their first game, not Lucid.
That's a little more of an accomplishment.
But they had a stand-in as well, right? They
True,
had
Calyx.
Calyx, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Nah, you're all right. I like Neo's AK. I have the same one. His has significantly
Jaguar.
more kills on it. Here. Oh, Neo. I thought he had both kills as they had no idea he'd snuck in from the catwalk, but Rez does respond. All that does is serve to allow Faze the information to rotate back over, looking for map point at this point in time as well. Off. He's aware that they're rotating, couldn't hit the shot, but they know Pit is now out toward the door. A few quick speculative shots on the cross back in. Low enough HP that might have been a desired play. Lines up the pop flash to bounce high, and he's already forward of the flames, but could not bait Rez into position, and it is going to be potentially the last round.
I think it probably is. They've got maximum loss bonus that only gets you so far on the CT side, 16-5. Looks very likely at this point. Faze with a few fumbles, but overall a decent game from them. Nuke coming up next. Could be another quick 2-0 here. We will see. Looking likely. Guardian being thrown over the AWP, looking for damage as they cross. Looked like that was dead on, but not quite. No damage inflicted.
Yeah, sometimes we have the different tick rates, so that last second little movement we don't quite see in the spectator model.
That's a good point. We don't get every single movement.
But from our perspective, it did look on, but it probably wasn't. Forrest has made good headway toward the top side of mid. Awkward position because you got to watch both sides, but usually that's the way you want to look. Now, I don't think you would have spotted the bomb the way that it fell off the body.
It would have seen it on the radar, but it's not going to help. Well, that will help. I was going to say he might not even consider falling back, but definitely not now. Get right. Great work. Keep the head above water for now, at least. All 5 players surviving that. That's a huge round for them to pick up in terms of getting firepower back in their favor, getting AKs picked up. Forrest all the AWP. Lecro will be thrown it, so he'll go back to the orb. Maybe he just feels like he's holding angles, hitting shots would be the best way to operate here, considering his low fragging performance here for 118. When will Faze close this one out?
Nico, fast as ever, is going to hold B tunnels, not even going to peek at this point in time. He's waiting to see if there'll be a push through. Something for information, perhaps. Pit thought he was up to it. Olaf goes out and sprays instead, and he'll hold off for now inside of B. Molotovs go down, clear the close angles, and it's Lecro with the op. Get right, waits out toward long, still inside of the pit. But Neo and Olaf that want to work in from the cave. 3 toward B, and that might be to their detriment. The attack goes on toward A. Smoke, and a bounce one to the corner. Could drop down and cut off rotations. They've already isolated the car. 2-2 split, but get right. He shuts out Neo immediately, and the drop is in effect. They can rotate down and hold off everything. Rain finds Lecro as a result of changing his angle as such. But Get Right still waits patiently with the smokes to see if he can time his attack back in. Unfortunately, he was unaware that Olaf was at long. Seems like a replay when they were on the opposing side, and Olaf caught him unaware to get the defuse.
This could be it. 3 versus 2. Both the players isolated into the spawn position. Make it just one of them now. And Pitta only got 3 frags to his name. He will not be winning this one. It is going to be 16-6 and Faze his favor on their map pick. And to be fair, it's about what we expected. It might not sound like a big deal. You've got, the coaching knows all the tactics. He's a former pro, be able to handle himself. It changes absolutely everything, especially on a map like Dust2, and it's all about coordination, hitting shots together, and reacting to certain situations. They're already going to be hamstrung going into this one, and they really couldn't get going. And I feel like that eco diffuse from Golfmeister, that really did seal the deal. I felt like the game just fell apart after that point.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, Get Right did come up with a pretty spectacular clutch in the next round. Rez had 1 on 1 HP, but again, the team team that requires those level of clutches, the team that requires that much heroics,
Yeah.
usually there's a reason for that. If you're winning, you're playing a team game, and you don't need someone to go off like that in quite the same fashion. So that speaks to itself, and yeah, the defuse was just, oh, that was tough.
It was a little bit tough. About what we expected, though, no disrespect to NiP, we know things are very difficult for them right now. It's just disappointing we don't get to see Faze properly tested just yet. We're all excited to see how Neo can perform in this squad. But either way, we have got another map coming up. It's going to be NiP coming up next, and we'll take a commercial break and be back with the analyst very shortly.